And welcome to our wonderful TV program, which we have not had for a couple of weeks because I was not here to be with you. Obviously, we're back with our Mike Ferry TV. I want to start today with a little different approach. One of the concerns that we should all have, and if we don't have it, we're not paying attention, is the fact that we have a huge shortage of listings today. I think any of us watching today that is paying any attention to the real estate market knows of the shortage of listings. Therefore, our job should be to procure listings, period. We should be spending 100% of our time trying to find a way to get a listing, because I think, as you know, almost any listing you take today, tomorrow, in the next 30, 60, 90 days is going to mean a commission check to you within 30 to 60 days of your securing that listing. So we have to look at the obvious question, why do we not list property? And the answer is most of us simply don't know how to. If you've been to any of the seminars that I've put on in the West Coast and East Coast, May and June, August, September, I talked a lot about the fact that the problem we have today, and you know this is a fact, too many agents simply got out of the habit of listing property because the market was going like this and the REO market filled the inventory bin, so we didn't really have to go out and list property. As a result, the skills between 2005 and 2012 dwindled among real estate people. And in many cases, they didn't dwindle, they actually sank through the floor. We simply did not know how to list property because we didn't have to list property. The REO market furnished us with a wonderful inventory supply. Many of it was junk listings, as you know, but very low prices, very lucrative for a buyer to buy. Well, when that market stopped about a year ago, everything changed dramatically. Now all of a sudden, you and I have to know how to list property. Well, what I do each day when I did these two tours, I would start by saying, okay, why do we not list property? And two things would come up. Number one, I don't know how to list property, or number two, I don't know how to prospect, which of course is the biggest problem real estate people have had today, yesterday, the last 50 years, and probably for the next 50 years. For some reason, and I really don't understand why, our industry is a little backwards, and I know that will bother some of you, when it comes to basic selling. Now, I will tell you, I am called the big gorilla, I'm called the crazy white elephant, I've been called the Flintstones, I'm called the 900-pound gorilla, because I actually say to real estate people like you, you have to learn to find a way to procure and get business. Now, if that's old-fashioned, if that's the 900-pound gorilla, if that's the Flintstones, you better become old-fashioned, you better become a 900-pound gorilla, and you better become the Flintstones, because in a real sales business, which we're in, if you don't know how to prospect, you're dead before you start. Or there's two choices. You can A, work with buyers all the time, and you can solve the prospecting problem by simply buying leads off the internet. Now, have you ever thought about that one for a minute? Because we'll talk about it more in a minute. Buying leads off the internet. Do you actually think they're even remotely qualified? Anybody that you talk to will tell you the answer is no. But the second thing we have to understand is if you really do have a goal to do 5, 8, 10, 12 transactions a year, you don't really have to prospect. You don't have to do anything. And you've heard me say this in the past. You know, if you show up for work on a somewhat regular basis, if you dress reasonably nice, if you don't say anything real stupid to the public, you can do 5, 8, 10, 12 deals a year. You can do that by mistake, especially when you have a marketplace going like the one we have today. So this conversation today is for those of you that want to do something with the business, make some money, do some deals, have a great fourth quarter of 2013, a great first quarter of 2014. If you're one of those people, our conversation today will make a lot of sense. A couple of weeks ago, I had a very interesting conversation, which came as a result of several things happening. I've had probably a dozen of our really good customers over the last couple of months call me and say, this internet marketing company, that internet marketing company, this internet marketing company have called me and tried to sell me on buying leads from them. I went, okay. What did they say to you? Well, they called and said, we're calling to get you to procure leads from us. And of course, the question is, are they buyer or seller leads? And they're all buyer leads. Why would you want more buyer leads in a market like today when there's no inventory? What you want today is inventory. But we know that inventory is harder to procure than procuring a buyer. You can spend $300, $500, $1,000 a month, get all the buyer leads you want off the internet. You can get them from now till doomsday, and it will be your doomsday in most cases if you buy them. But see, to procure listings requires sales skills, hard work, dedication, discipline, a schedule. Oh, wait a minute, Mike, I'm a real estate agent. I don't do those kind of things. So these agents kept calling me and telling me what was going on. They're getting all these phone calls. So I called one of the big internet lead providers. And I had a great conversation with and I will tell you, a very interesting, very enjoyable, one of their VPs in their sales and marketing department. It was, I will tell you, it was an enjoyable conversation. I learned a lot, and I think he did too. I said to him, how do you make so many sales? You get realtors everywhere buying your leads. They're spending $500, $800, $1,000 a month buying leads. He goes, well, Mike, we have, and I think I'm quoting right now, we have 250 salespeople that are telemarketers, are on the phone all day long, calling individual agents like you, selling you leads. I said, you're kidding. He said, no. You know, we have 850 people making so many hundreds of dials a day. He said, we're selling leads left and right. I said, wait a minute. You're calling a real estate person. Now watch this. You're the real estate person. I'm them. Ring, ring, ring. You go hello. Hi, I'm calling to sell you leads off the internet through our company. You're going to spend about $800 a month. We're going to help you do what I'm doing right now, but I don't want you to ever do again, which is prospect. Isn't that great? They're going to sell you leads so you never have to do what they did to get your money from you. You know, we had a great conversation, this fellow and I. And then I wrote a couple blogs about this conversation, and oh boy, did I get some negative feedback. Let me tell you, 2 or 3 of the executives of these internet lead companies wrote me nasty letters. We're never going to recommend your company again, and we're blacklisting you, Mike Ferry, from us. I'm going, geez, who cares if I get blacklisted for internet lead company? I don't believe in what they do anyhow. Guys and gals, you got to start thinking about what you're doing. But the problem is, as I said a minute ago, if you don't know how to go out and list property and you don't know how to prospect, you're in trouble. So if I go way back to some of the fallacies in the real estate business, and I want to go through some of these fallacies with you right now to help you get a clearer picture, provided that you actually do want to sell 15, 20, 30, 50, 100 homes a year. I took all the prospecting techniques I could find. I divided them into 3 lists. The first was what we call slow response techniques. Now, let me read something to you. By slow response, I'm referring to the fact that the energy you put in today will take a longer period of time to get you the business that you want. We always have to look at the investment of our time and return we want from that investment. Critical point. There's a direct correlation between the amount of rejection we receive and the amount of business we generate. If we're trying to cut down on rejection, let's use the slow response techniques. They won't give you any rejection. So I made a list. Now watch this. Slow response, open houses, floor time, geographic farming, direct mail campaigns, advertising properties for sale, personal promotion, referrals from accountants, attorneys, financial planners, etc., networking associations, web-based and email marketing, REO and bank business, working notices of default, internet referral sites. Interesting, isn't it? So recently, we had one of our clients make the decision to quit our coaching. She went to one of my competitors' programs, and she said, I'm quitting your coaching because your competitor told me that he can help me get business faster. I said, great. What is he going to have you do? Listen to this. He's going to have me hold open house, do a geographic farm, and do direct mail campaigns and advertise on Facebook. I said to the lady, now, I know this is going to be hard and I'm going to be insulting, and I don't mean to be. Are you trying to tell me that you can get more business off an open house than you can from calling your past client centers of influence? Are you trying to tell me you can get more business with geographic farming than you can from calling on buy owners and expireds? Are you trying to tell me that a direct mail campaign is actually going to get you listings? Because if you're trying to tell me that, lady, one of us is nuts, and I've been checked, I'm okay. Well, she had quit, of course, so it didn't make any difference what I said. See, the hardest part of our business is all the snake oil salespeople will tell you that kind of stuff makes sense. Now watch, if your goal is to do 4, 5, 8, 10 deals a year, that kind of slow response techniques works. The second level of prospecting, future response techniques, knowing that you're not going to get as much business today, immediately, but these techniques will bring you business in every case. Knocking on cold doors, massive cold phone calls, working absentee owners, adopting the client on the other side of the transaction, working tenant-occupied listings, working relocation business, doing small public seminars to bring people to you, working small, medium-sized investors, working former realtors, past clients, and centers of influence. See, these techniques will bring you business, but you're not going to get as fast a response as you want. It's better than slow, but it's not going to get you as fast as you want. And then I said, okay, let's go to the third list, immediate response techniques. Contacting expired listings, contacting for sale by owners, contacting your center of influences for referrals, contacting past clients for more business today and for their referrals, just listed, just sold, phone calls and doors, using our 800 info home line, working old company files, working your current clients, the ones you have listed and in process for referrals, working your sign calls, working your staff center of influence, working small to medium-sized home builders, and direct agents from referrals that you meet at our events. Well, the difficult choice for you is to decide what you're going to do. The faster the response, the higher the rejection. The slower the response, the lower the rejection. The faster the response, the more business you get. The slower the response, the less business you have. See, the question is not, are you going to learn how to list property? The question is, how much business do you want to do? That's the only question. If you want to do 3, 5, 8, 10 deals a year, take the nonsense my competitors are teaching and go use it, and don't expect a lot. But if you want to become a superstar, do 10, 30, 50, 75, 100 deals a year, you better learn how to do it. And if you don't learn how to do it, guess what? It is not going to happen. So give these ideas some thoughts, and I'll look forward to talking to you next week. Have some fun.